friends, happy Friday. We are live at Wild Birds Unlimited in Joliet. My name is Ellen, and on Fridays we go live to tell you what's new, what's happening at the store, but what's also happening out in nature. So today is no different. We're going to talk about events coming up first. Then we're talking about some new items that have come in, so it's really exciting. And then third and last, we will talk about what's happening with migration, what's happening with the local birds, who can you expect leaving town, and who can you expect to be coming into town. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight, right now. All right, let's get to it. So coming up tonight, actually, why we're going early is because going live early today is because tonight at 6 p.m. starts our first avian artistry class on pencil sketching, so that should be really fun, really exciting. Congratulations, Shelby, for being our winner of the avian artistry giveaway. So thanks for everyone that participated and put an entry in. All of them were really wonderful, and I hope you all get to participate. It should be a really fun time. Don't worry if you were not able to sign up for this class or could not make this class, you can still register for the other ones. So keep that registration link and you can sign up for the remaining classes if you weren't able to make tonight's, okay? But happening tomorrow, Saturday, the 27th at 11 o'clock here at the store, we're having an in-store presentation called Caching Cousins. It's all about chickadees, titmice, and nuthatches. So it's a really cool presentation. Talks a little bit about a lot of these birds that we see all the time in our feeders. Some of them are really frequent visitors, so it's kind of exciting to dive into their lives a little bit more and learn some really interesting facts about these birds and some tips and tricks on how to attract them, okay? So that's happening at 11. If you would, for sure, you're going to want to come, be sure to call the store, even if it's the morning of, to let us know so that we can reserve a seat just for you. All right. The following Saturday is the first weekend of October, which October 4th is our in the books for our fall feeder cleaning event. So that is happening again October 4th from 10 to 3 p.m. So how it works is you can bring in your feeders. We are partnering with our Will County Audubon Society, the Will County chapter of the Illinois Audubon Society. So they will be here on site to help wash and clean your feeders. We will also repair any Wild Birds Unlimited feeders, so that's kind of cool. But how it works is we just ask a small donation of $3 per feeder. It's a suggested donation, but it's a good opportunity to get those feeders cleaned as we're finishing out migration. But it's also in preparation for the winter, right? So we always recommend to clean your feeders regularly, but we like to offer it twice a year that we partner with our Will County Audubon chapter to help clean your feeders. So take advantage of that. It's a really great time. You do not have to stay here the entire time while your feeders are being cleaned. We have a setup, so how it works is you bring in your feeders and we intake them, and then we have it organized so that all your feeders stay together and all your accessories. So some people bring their domes and those weather guards and things to get them cleaned off too. So bring in those accessories and then we will clean them up for you. And then when they are done, if you are not here, we will give you a phone call, say that your feeders are ready to be picked up. If you can't pick them up that day, let's say you brought them in later in the afternoon and it's getting close to 5 o'clock and you can't pick it up, don't worry, you can pick it up the next day or during the next week, okay? So just letting you know, those are the options, and we just love to have you out for that. Our October events are not all listed on Facebook or on our website, but I will be working on that this weekend. So keep an eye out for all the events that we have coming up in October. Just as a couple of just tidbits of information of things that are coming up in October is we have a presentation on monarch butterflies. We also will have a presentation on squirrels, on how to either feed them or defeat them. We also will have in October a a photography workshop. So if you are interested in learning how to do bird photography or wildlife photography, that is another really great option as well. And that one is also going to be in partnership with our Will County Audubon Society. So really, really cool thing that we have coming up all in October. So stay tuned for all the details there. Let's get to showing off some of the new things that we have gotten in. And the first thing I want to show off is our Bussy wristlets because I've been so excited. I've been waiting for these to come and they are finally here. So these things are super awesome. Again, made sustainably. They also are a woman-owned business in the USA. So really, really great products there, but they are perfect for accessorizing. I know I love these kind of lanyard wristlets for my keys. I also have a couple of those little wallet, like wristlets, purses, if you will, that these would be really cool on, or maybe binoculars or whatnot, but they come in quite a couple different patterns. This is our wren. We have the blue jay here. I showed that one. We have the cardinal, of course, the cardinal. Check out this bee one. I like that one too. Honestly, every single one of them I really like. They're all just so beautiful. The hummingbirds are here. We have the goldfinch, and we have owls for all our owl lovers. I love all the different owls they have on here. And then we have the woodpecker also. So lots of different styles. I think that was all of them. Just want to make sure, yeah. Okay. But yes, so lots of these wristlets, they do come with a keychain and then a clip part. I've also seen people use this and put them in their phones. Sometimes your phone case has that ability to attach one of these to it, so you can do that. But a really great way to kind of show off your love of your favorite bird in the form of a keychain wristlet. So I think these are going to be a hot item for like Christmas for those maybe people that always lose their keys, for the people that like to be hands free while they're holding all their items and important items. So this is a really good item for lots of different people. So definitely come by and check these out. We have them on a display over by the other Buzzy towels and the reusable sponges and the reusable bags and mouse pads. But we also have a couple of them over here at our counter where the bookmarks are. So you can come and check out all the different ones here at the store when the next time you're in. The other cool thing that has come in, just came in today, and we're kind of really excited about it, since we love talking about having a little character in your yard. We have 2 new seed characters to show off. So I'm going to show them off right now. The first one is Sugar and Honey. And I don't know if you can tell here, but it is a cat, and there is a mouse. And the mouse is detachable, so it's really cool. Just like all of our other seed characters or seed cylinders, it does have a hole that runs all the way through. And I'll show you a couple of feeders at the end here on how to hang this and use it in your own yard. But this one, the ingredients include safflower, sunflower chips, peanuts, millet, almonds, blueberries, cranberries. And of course, it's all held together by gelatin. And guys, do you see that cute little bell? Ah, it's just so cute. It makes me miss my kitties. We're now cat free in our house, and it's so sad, but so cute, isn't it? The eyes are kiwis. How cool is that? Just love the detail that Mr. Bird does on our seed characters. So if you didn't know, our seed characters, these seed characters, and some of the other ones like our owl and Olive the owl, Screech the owl, Blaze the hot pepper squirrel, and Rascal the raccoon, or Harry the hedgehog, all those seed characters are all exclusive to Wild Birds Unlimited. So you won't find these guys anywhere else but your Wild Birds Unlimited stores. So it's kind of cool. The other one that we have gotten in, another new seed character, is called Blossom. And Blossom is a skunk. How adorable. But check out that like 3D flower on there. It's made out of the pumpkin seeds. So this guy is made, or gal, is made, Blossom is made out of mostly black oil sunflowers. It has some pecans, safflower, millet, pumpkin seeds, apples, blueberries, apricots. And again, held together by some gelatin. So how cool are those? So again, has that hole that runs all the way through this seed character. And these are great to put on anything that you would use your regular seed cylinders for. So this is my top favorite seed cylinder feeder. Again, it's super easy to load and re-hang back up. You just hook it to that hook at the top. I love the perch on it, so many varieties of birds can find access feeding from this feeder. So whether they are a clinger and will cling directly onto the seed character or seed cylinder, or they need a perch, you have best of both worlds in just this one feeder. Now the cool thing about this specific feeder does come in red and green, but this one can actually hold the large seed cylinders. So you may know of our small, but we also have the large seed cylinders. So just know that if you like to increase during vacation time and you want to put that large on there, this feeder can hold it. If you're like me and don't like to trek out in the snow all the way to the back of the yard, unless my husband likes to shovel it, my backyard for me, I like to switch to the large seed cylinders in the winter so I don't have to make that trek out so often. So know that this feeder can hold those. But other feeders that are also equally as good to use for seed characters or small seed cylinders or stackables, it would be like our mini cylinder feeder. So again, great option for birds that can cling. It has some perch space for birds that need to perch, like your cardinals. And again, it's super easy to load. So again, your seed cylinder would sit right here and slide over this stick part. And then you just put it in right into this notch, and it slides down and it stays. So that's a pretty good one. I would not use this feeder for the large seed cylinders, but they work great for fun little characters. They work great for some of our small cylinders, and of course they work great for the seed stackables as well. Yep, Kitty will fit on here. Absolutely. And then you could tie the little mouse, onto one of these little perches, right? Or it could hang it even right here. Or you put it somewhere else, right? It's really up to you. But I think it'd be kind of cute to kind of keep them together, like the cat and mouse are together, right? All right. And of course, another great option is our flying start feeder. So this one is the basic feeder is this, right? It's just this. So it hooks onto, it's a great for like if you have a tree that you're just starting out or you want to do a housewarming gift. This makes a great feeder because if you're not sure if they like to feed the birds, this is an inexpensive starting option. And of course, all of these guys can slide right on there. And I, of course, like to add a couple extra accessories to make this a better feeder. While this will do it, I'm telling you, if you add the tray, a couple things are going to happen, right? You're going to give some perching space. So not all birds can cling and eat and hold from the cylinder itself or the character itself. Some need a little bit of perch space. And with this added multi-tray, it makes it a perfect spot where different birds could potentially sit or cling onto here and then eat from your cylinder. Another accessory I'd highly recommend is a weather guard for this feeder, which would be this. Okay, so the feeder and this lid can come in black or red, but essentially there's a little hole right here on this lid, and then it fits right on top of this point here. So there's that notch, and we're going to notch it in and then plop it down onto that spot. So again, it makes it a nice, especially when we're getting into winter or any wet weather, you know that your food is being covered and not exposed to as much weather as it would if it had no cover at all. All right, so that's what I would highly recommend when using all these characters. Now the characters are so fun, and we will be getting in more holiday characters soon, coming in. But for now, we have two new cool characters to bring a little character into your yard and just have some fun this fall. Of course, the whole gang is here of seed characters, minus Buttons and Preston the Penguin. Um, Buttons is the snowman that we typically have, and we also have Preston the Penguin that we usually have for holiday times, and they have not arrived back in town. Santa has not sent them down to us yet, but they will be coming in soon. And I also heard that there is a new holiday character coming to town, so stay tuned for more on that. So that's kind of exciting. But these make great little gifts if you have someone that you know that maybe just needs a pick-me-up, or if you know someone that's moving into a new home. These characters always make great gifts. I like to include a lot of these seed characters in any of our gift baskets when we do donations for community events. So they always bring a smile to everyone's face, let me tell you. So great options, all right? All right, that's it for the new things. Let's talk about migration because we're in peak migration. Maybe you saw this post yesterday. This is the forecast from last night, but tonight is no different. We still have nearly 395 million birds predicted to move across the North America. So really exciting night. Big numbers, right? Big numbers we're seeing here. And I want to talk a little bit about migration and how it all plays out, what's coming in, what's leaving town. A big question that we keep, people are calling or asking online or in the store is what's happening with our hummingbirds? Well, let me tell you, not all of them have left town yet. And what I mean by that is, yes, migration is already started, and some of the birds that you are seeing will be here today and gone tomorrow. Or, for example, the birds that you see today might not be the same ones you see tomorrow or that you saw yesterday. So migration is happening, and it's a event. It happens. It can happen. It can start as early as July and end in October. Is typically when migration is over. But peak migration is happening now. Okay, that's why we're seeing that all that light up area, those white spots are really high migration numbers, right? So we're seeing a lot of big migration happening in our area, and I want you to have all the tips and tricks in your toolbox to help you get the most out of migration and to help our birds during this pretty critical time of year. Now let's talk about our birds. Let's talk about hummingbirds to start off. Yes, hummingbird action is decreasing. And if you've noticed that, you are not alone. Does that mean you should pull your hummingbird feeder? I would recommend not. And the reason for that is because we are still in migration. So while the activity is not as busy as it was in August, end of September, we see a dip in activity. And that is because a lot of those birds are moving. They are, and have been moving. But the thing is that I always recommend to keep your hummingbird feeder out until Halloween, October 31st. And the reason for that is unless you are watching your feeder 24/7, you don't know if you are having visitors or not. So by having that feeder out, you might be really making a life or death feeder providing. That feeder is life or death for some of our hummingbirds at the end of October. Think about last year at end of October. Either sometimes, some years we have nothing. Maybe it's really cold. Sometimes we have that S word happening. But some years it's really warm. So because we had such an unusually warm September, we might have an unusually warmer to start October. Who knows what the weather will hold for us. But the idea is that you at least have something out there in case they need it. Remember, hummingbirds went far north, right? So they need to go back down south when we hit migration again. So it's really important that that we are prepared for them if they need us. Now, the other thing that you might hear from people on recommendations on for their when to take down a hummingbird feeder could potentially be if the last time that you saw the hummingbird 2 weeks after the last sight, right? So for example, if I saw my last hummingbird today and I hadn't seen anything for 2 weeks, I could say it's okay to take down my hummingbird feeder. But because I'm not watching my hummingbird feeder 24/7, I don't really like that rule. So I like to keep it up for sure. No matter what, I'm maintaining that hummingbird feeder through October 31st. Um, Now, other birds that are moving out of town, of course, are waterfowl, warblers, orioles are some of the big ones that we're saying goodbye to. Other birds are going to be here all year. Some birds are just kind of moving a shift down. So while we might lose our spring and summer birds, they just move a little bit more south, and we get the ones from further up north. So example of that would be goldfinches, maybe even cardinals. Might move a little bit south, but they are technically in Illinois all year round. They just might not be the pair that we watched raise their young in our backyards. All right. But the thing to also be on the lookout for is for our birds that are coming here for the South. Yes, believe it or not, Illinois is the spot to be in winter for some birds. So, for example, like our juncos, our white-throated and our white-crowned sparrows, and our pine siskins return here to Illinois in the winter. Usually it happens around the fall. Sometimes it's October, sometimes it's September. So just keep your eyes open because you never know what new visitor you might be having at your feeders. So it's kind of cool. So while we say goodbye to some, we're really saying hello to others. So it's kind of a cool time of year. I always say it's like a bittersweet because we love and anticipated our hummingbirds and our spring birds so great that when they finally have to leave, it kind of is sad, right? But it's exciting because we know that we will get new birds in, and we know that our hummingbirds and other birds will come back to us next spring. All right. But how to help birds during peak migration. Let's talk about that. I have 6 total tips on how to help birds during migration. 3 of them are easy peasy to do that everyone can do right now, right here. The other 3 are, well, at least the other 2 are a more long term, and they have a little bit of a different impact than the immediate. Okay, so let's talk about the first 3. Number 1, the big one, is turn off non-essential lights. It's a big one, and you probably have seen it so much on Facebook or on the news about a lot of these cities doing the lights off. Chicago, lights off. Detroit, lights off. I see it a lot of different states or big cities that are doing these big campaigns to educate people about turning off the lights during migration, and particularly during the peak times of migration. Yes, so what they're asking is for, if you can, turn off non-essential lights from 11 p.m. To 6 a.m. So late in the evening, right before midnight, and then keep them off all the way until 6 a.m. So that's going to hit the peak times that birds are traveling, moving at night, and you're going to help them because lights actually disorient birds. And when we have a lot of light, like humans love exterior lighting. But unfortunately, that lighting and extra lights can actually disorient birds who are traveling looking at the stars. So if it's not as a dark night, they're less likely to see their navigation, their map, right? But at the same time, they're making them confused and drawing them into cities where they should not be. In fact, they should be flying high in the sky and going out of town. But instead, lights are actually drawing them in. So a big one is turn off lights. If you can, turn off all non-essential lights outside, and the ones inside, draw your shades and block out that inside light from the exterior. Okay, that's a big one. If you can do that, you are helping so many birds. Okay, number 2 is to protect your windows. Make windows safer for birds. So making windows safer is also part of our 7 simple steps to save the songbirds. But during migration, it's even more important too, because birds that collide with windows all the time. Now, you may remember McCormick Place had a big catastrophe when all those birds that were migrating collided with the windows there. It was devastating to see all those birds that had perished for no reason other than us humans failing to protect them. And because we know that birds don't view windows the same as humans, they perceive the reflection as a fly through. So if you can break up that reflection on your exterior windows by putting window decals, there are some other recommendations such as using a temporary paint to draw a pattern on the window so that you're essentially breaking up that exterior reflection. So they are hungry, Donna. That brings me to my third point. Okay, so after flying for that long overnight, it's really important that we provide the best refueling stations possible. And guess what those refueling stations are? Your feeders. So after that big travel, yes, all birds are going to be looking for a pick-me-up place. So your yard can be that place. Your yard can be the refueling station. So it's important that we offer fresh, clean water. And especially the first thing in the morning, we're talking about 6 a.m., right? You can turn back on the lights, and then you go outside and you're gonna refill that water, refill the feeders, because feeders are really important. And what you're putting in the feeders is equally as important as actually providing the food in itself, right? So we want to make sure we're focusing on nutritious, high protein, high fat foods, because high protein and high fat is going to help refuel your birds so they can continue on the journey. All right, so make sure that you have those out. All right, typically during the evening time when most of our birds are migrating, they are not on the search for food. Although certain birds, depending on what type of birds, perhaps like birds of prey, they might take advantage of nighttime predation to feed, but most of our songbird species are not eating while migrating, right? While they're traveling, there's no eating in the car, okay? So it's more just they're gonna migrate and travel, and then when they stop, they're resting and then refueling, and that's why it's so important. The other thing when providing those refueling stations, not only food and water, but think shelter. Okay, so think about what brush piles that you can create or areas in your yard where you can really make a haven for them that they can feel safe and rest safely. All right, so that's another thing. The last two things that I have on my list are more of a general, what we can do to help birds. If you, for example, number 4 is plant native plants. So while most of our native plant sales are over with, and it's harder perhaps later in the season to acquire new plantings or plantings that are going to be big enough to make an impact on the birding community, it's important to keep in mind that planting natives are supporting birds all year round. So when you plant something this year, next year, and the future years, the future generations of birds are going to be able to utilize that plant, whether it be because it's providing food, such as the plant itself provides seeds, nuts, berries, or maybe host insects that birds may eat. Plants also can provide shelter. So maybe it's a big tree that's going to provide shelter for birds during the cold or during a really rainy day. Maybe it's a place where they can seek shelter and raise their young. So like build a nest in, or a place where they're going to raise their young next year. So there's a lot of things that native plants provide for birds, but it may not be in an instant. Maybe it's a few years down the road where they're making their biggest impact. But that's why it's important to think about it now and keep it in our minds so that we have that there. Remember, your feeders are only about 20% of a bird's natural diet. So the natural things that you provide in your yards are really going to feed and increase the activity in your yard. So if you love this hobby and you want to make the most of it, definitely start planting natives, because native plants are designed for our area and they're designed to help and host the wildlife that live here. All right, number 5, which is also another one that has a bigger, wider impact, and that is support bird-friendly products. such as bird-friendly coffee, bird-friendly cocoa. So we have bird-friendly chocolate bars, and we have bird-friendly coffee. We have the bird-friendly new hot cocoa. And these products support our migrating birds because it's protecting the habitat that they are migrating to. All right, this is protecting the wintering habitat. In the South America, where a lot of our cocoa and coffee are produced, bird friendly coffee maintains a certification that if the farm itself must be a biodiverse habitat, meaning it must have lower shrubs to big canopy trees. It needs to have all those layers to support a wide variety of wildlife. Okay, so when you're supporting those bird-friendly products, you're helping your migrating birds like these guys. All right, friends. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you enjoy the last of the beginning of fall, and that you're enjoying the birds while you have them here. Look out for our wintering arrival birds that are going to be coming to town soon. And don't forget to stop by tomorrow for our presentation on caching cousins, chickadees, titmice, and nuthatches. Should be a really fun time. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Put us in the comments. Let me know of any questions. Let us know what you're seeing. We'd love to hear from you as always. So we'll see you next time. Bye now.